They call it the Diabolical Hour. The Vatican has another name for it, hora inversa, the reversed hour, 3:33 am, the minute when the sacred world looks away and something else looks back. For most priests, it's just a rumor whispered in seminaries, a bedtime warning to avoid late prayers. But Father Gabriel Santoro knew it wasn't just a story. He'd heard the hum himself. It was March 13th, a quiet night inside the Vatican archives. He was cataloging relics of forgotten miracles, a chalice that bled salt water, a rosary that refused to burn. At 3:33 a.m., the air shifted. The hum began low and metallic, echoing from beneath the marble floor. Every lamp flickered once, and the clock on his desk froze mid-tick. The hum climbed the walls, crawled behind his ribs, and settled under his heart like another pulse. Then, silence. The clock started again, 3:34. He told himself it was imagination, but the next night it returned. And this time, he wasn't alone. A guard stationed near the sub-basement reported hearing a bell toll, though every bell in the Vatican was locked for the night. Another claimed the security feed glitched for exactly 60 seconds, replaced by a frame of a shadow kneeling in prayer. The hour repeated itself. Every night, same moment, 3:33. A.M. Gabriel brought the report to his superior, Cardinal Bellori, a man of few words and fewer doubts. Bellori listened, expression unreadable. Finally, he said, "You've heard the diabolical hour. Go home. Rest. Do not return to the archives after midnight." But Gabriel couldn't, because he'd seen the red-sealed file that caused the hum, 333L, the Lucian case. He wasn't meant to know it existed, but the number burned in his mind. That night, against orders, he unlocked the restricted wing of the archives. The file was where rumor said it would be, one folder bound in crimson thread, labeled Campana Luciani. Inside were grainy photos of a collapsed monastery, Latin diagrams of sound frequencies, and one sentence written in trembling ink, verbum inversum, the word reversed. He ran his fingers over the page. It felt warm. The next morning, he found Cardinal Bellori waiting in his office. "You opened it," the old man said. Gabriel didn't deny it. Bellori's eyes were tired. "Then it's already begun. You'll need to finish what Father Verani started." The name jolted him. Matteo Verani, the priest who vanished in 1893 investigating a bell that rang without hands. The Lucian bell. Bellori placed a small key on the table. "Vault X33, beneath St. Michael's Chapel. No one has entered it for a century. Whatever you hear inside, do not answer." The chapel's door was heavy bronze, sealed with wax. The lock groaned as he turned the key. Air rushed out, cold and metallic, as if the room had been holding its breath. In the center stood the bell of Lucian, not large, waist-high, the color of rusted blood, but its surface pulsed faintly as though the metal itself had veins. He whispered a prayer, the bell whispered it back, backward. The sound wasn't echo, it was imitation. The bell was learning. At that exact moment, the lights went out. Darkness swallowed the chapel. Gabriel's watch stopped. Then a single tone vibrated through his bones, not loud but deep, a sound that wasn't meant for ears. It didn't strike the air, it struck him. He fell to his knees, gasping as if the oxygen had thickened. When the tone faded, the silence screamed. He staggered out, heart pounding, the key still burning in his palm. When he reached the surface, the sun had risen, but the clock read 3:33. He played back the recorder from his pocket. Static. Then his own voice. Trembling, foreign. "Ego sum hora, I am the hour." That night, Bellori confronted him again. "You shouldn't have spoken to it," he said. Gabriel's voice shook. "It spoke first." "Then you must seal it before it remembers your name." But by then, it was too late. Reports flooded the Vatican. Monks fainting during morning mass, candles extinguishing at the same second, and every digital clock skipping from 3:32 to 3:34. When one guard died of heart failure, the defibrillator recorded his final pulse. 3 quick beats, 3 long, 3 quick again. SOS in triplicate. Gabriel saw the signs. He knew the bell was resonating through the city like a virus of sound. He made one last descent into the chapel. He intended to bless it, to end it, to prove that faith could silence the hour. He never returned. The guards found the chapel empty. The bell was gone. Only a scorch mark remained where it had stood. On the wall, drawn in ash, were 3 overlapping circles, the symbol of the inverted Trinity. On the altar lay Gabriel's rosary and his recorder. The tape ran 1 minute longer than possible. When played, it contained a pattern of 33 tolls. Between each, a heartbeat and a whisper. Every prayer has 2 sides. Cardinal Bellori sealed the vault again and ordered the hour struck from all timekeeping. But no one could stop the clocks. Every night at 3:33, power flickered across Rome. People reported hearing faint bells under the Tiber River. And inside the Vatican, doors that hadn't opened in decades creaked on their hinges. Bellori's hair turned white in a month. He stopped sleeping. Each dawn he woke to find the same phrase written on his mirror in condensation. Heaven forgets. He asked to be moved to the countryside. They granted it. The morning he left, the driver found him slumped in prayer, lips blackened, eyes open. The engine's clock read 3:33. Years later, archivists uncovered Bellori's final memo in the Lucian file. It read, "The hour exists because we measure it. Time itself does not sin. We do, by watching. Do not seek to silence the bell of Lucian. Its purpose is confession. Every prayer it reverses is one heaven chose not to hear." After that, the Vatican quietly removed the word hour from all public documents relating to miracles. They called them occurrences instead, events without time. But the world didn't forget. The phenomenon spread. Clocks everywhere began glitching at the same minute. Digital devices froze, security feeds distorted, power grids flickered. In recordings, an identical tone appeared, a low hum repeating every 33 seconds. When spectrograms translated it into an image, it looked like a human pulse turning inward. By 2040, some scientists began calling it the Global Resonance Event. Others called it the Voice of Time. But those who had read the Forbidden Files called it by its oldest name, the Diabolical Hour. A journalist named Elisa Conti tried to expose it. She interviewed physicists, priests, and former guards. Each told her the same thing, that the hour wasn't supernatural. It was structural. Reality itself hiccuped at that exact minute. One former guard whispered, "It's when God blinks." Elisa obtained the lost tape of Father Gabriel Santoro from a whistleblower. She played it live during a midnight broadcast. For the first 30 seconds, it was nothing but breathing. Then a voice, clear, cold, ancient, filled the airwaves. "Why do you watch the minute that watches you?" Her equipment shorted out. The broadcast cut. When technicians restored the feed, Elisa was gone. The studio clock, 3:33. The Vatican denied involvement. But that same night, seismographs across the globe registered identical tremors, lasting exactly 66 seconds. The pattern mirrored a bell curve, 3 peaks repeating, a signature found only once before, in the ruins of St. Lucian Abbey. Today, the Church says the hour is superstition. They've recalibrated every public clock in Vatican City to skip directly from 3:32 to 3:34. But employees who work the night shift tell a different story. They say that even though their clocks skip, their hearts still stutter. 3 beats, pause, 3 beats again. They say if you listen carefully in the archives, you can still hear the faint hum, as though something behind the walls were breathing, counting, waiting for recognition. If you ever wake at 3:33 a.m. and the world feels too quiet, don't look at the clock. Don't whisper a prayer, because the hour only answers those who speak first. And once it hears your voice, it won't stop repeating it. The minute will lengthen, the air will vibrate, and somewhere deep beneath the city, the bell of Lucian will ring again. A sound that isn't sound, a faith turned backward, a confession no God will claim. 3:33 a.m. the diabolical hour. It isn't the devil who speaks then, it's time itself, asking who among us still believes that it can be forgiven.